welcome to another RV interview. We're here today with Jayne Rylon, author of the Powertools series. Hi, Jayne.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here. And I have several questions for you. These are going to be just kind of casual, not entirely book focused, because we have most of our book information on our websites, right?
Right.
But for all the readers who want to know Jayne, and for those who want to know why your hair is so red, because you just told me, so this would be a really good question, right?
Yeah.
So tell us why your hair is so red, because it's usually purple, right?
It's usually purple, pink. It's been blonde,
Right.
Whatever. And
Right.
now that I don't work in corporate environments anymore, I take advantage of it.
Do what you want to do with your hair, right?
Yeah, but I asked my husband, well, what color should it be? And he was going back and forth, and then a couple of days later I asked him, well, what do you want for your birthday? And he said, I've always wanted a redhead, so.
So there you go. Wish granted.
Yeah, it was a cheap birthday present.
And did he like it?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
So
He was
it's
in
like as
favor.
red can get there.
It is.
It's beautiful. I love it.
It was a little more Ronald McDonald, but I
No,
did a touch
no, no.
up, so.
Well, it makes you easy to find. So like when I was ready to do the interview, I'm like, so where's Jayne? There she is.
Yeah.
You stick out. So that's really awesome in a very nice way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were
Not
just
according
talking
to my mom. She
No,
hates
your
it.
mom doesn't like it?
No.
Oh, well, she's probably my age, so trying to get used to it.
Yeah.
But so are any of your other siblings colorful like you, or?
No, my brother really toes the line for the family. He's got the
So is he mom's favorite? then?
daughter, and no, I think I might be my mom's favorite. Unless
Red
you're my
hair
brother
all.
and you're watching this, and then
No, it's definitely your
then
brother.
no, we're even for sure.
Yeah. So is it just the two of you?
Yeah.
What does he do? He's not a writer, I guess.
No,
huh?
he's a marketing executive in
so
Manhattan.
more like what you used to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I used to be the manager of financial planning and analysis
Right.
for corporate Fortune 500 companies.
Right, because I remember you and I talking about that at another conference.
Yeah.
Which explains the pseudonym, right? So
Yeah.
Because you were distinguishing yourself from your corporate world to your writing world.
Yeah, I was kind of in the closet, and people knew that I wrote, but I
love that
think-
when we're closet writers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had like a pretty cut and dry job. I wore suits every day, and I was in corporate financial meetings all the time, and so they knew I wrote, but I think they thought it was more of a hobby.
Right.
And they definitely didn't know my pen name or anything, even though I worked for Victoria's Secret, so you would think
You would think they'd love that.
Yeah.
Do some cross promotion.
yeah. But not necessarily.
wouldn't
People are
be.
pretty conservative in the corporate offices, and
Right.
especially being a woman in management, I just didn't want anyone to
So
confuse
regardless
what
of
I
the
did.
end product, it was still the corporate end of things.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, that's cool though.
Yeah.
So you tell me now you do a lot of the work yourself. We were just talking
Yes.
about covers. You do the covers too.
Yes.
And you have not your major, a minor, and
Oh, my undergraduate degree.
Undergraduate
so
degree?
when my bachelor's degree was in photography, and it was my major.
Wow,
so
okay.
I had a minor in English, which I never thought I would use, but I thought, well, I better do something useful.
right. Yeah.
So
So it's all tying into the book industry
it
now.
is. It's kind of crazy. So I do. I use cover artists sometimes. Angela Waters has done a lot of work for me through the years when my books are published from through.
Does she start
Samhain.
from scratch, or does she start?
She uses stock photography generally, and then she modifies
And
in
then modifies it,
Photoshop.
right. Okay.
But when I do my own work, now that I'm branching out more into self-publishing, a lot of times I do my own covers. So
So you do that book
Yeah.
start to finish.
Yes.
Completely.
yep, I do the formatting. I write the book.
Yeah. Right. Obviously. Yeah.
Do the cover, the formatting, the print edition, uploading to all the distributors, all that kind of stuff.
Because that's like a huge new,
Yeah.
very successful aspect to publishing now. The whole
Yeah.
landscape has changed on how. I mean, I'm still just an old dog doing traditional publishing. I wouldn't even know where to start. But I know it's a really, really viable option now.
It is, and for somebody who's like a control freak, which I may be sometimes.
Most of us seem to be.
You get
Yeah.
to do everything. You get it exactly your way. Like from everything to the little details at the beginning of chapters, like what do they look like, and how do I arrange things on the page. Everything is done the way I want it. So
Perfect.
if it sucks, then it's all my fault.
But it doesn't, I'm sure. Do you get feedback from readers on the covers as to what they like the best and all that sort of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, I actually have a reader group on Facebook. People can join. It's called Rylon Readers. And I kind of do like test feedback. Like when I think I'm going to put something out, I'll say, hey, do you like A better or B? What do you think
cool.
about this?
So you're really involving the readers in the whole thing too.
Yeah, I'll let them vote for different things,
Nice.
kind
Do
of
you always go with the way they go, or
No.
do you still make your executive? Yeah, I was going to
No,
say.
not always, but
Still
I do
make your executive decision on it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I have to go with my gut, but for sure, like they bring up points that I might never have thought of, and I get a lot of valuable feedback.
And it's good feedback to just keep in the back of your mind when you're working on the next one, maybe,
Yeah, exactly.
as to what they like and don't like.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all of that stuff that you're doing, what are some of your guilty pleasures?
Oh, guilty pleasures. Well, I think one that a lot of us are guilty of is saying, hey, I have to do some research, so let me open the internet.
Yeah.
I try to keep the internet closed when I'm writing.
It's part of writing, but I'm researching.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. So for one of my series that I'm working on right now called Dive Masters, the guys live on a super yacht. They're reluctant billionaires. They inherited some money, so they're like, oh, we'll take it. And so they
we don't really know any of those, but right.
So they bought a super yacht, and they live on it. And so I had to do a lot of research into what it's like on a live-aboard ship. And
so you didn't just go live on a really big super billionaire yacht
just
to check it out?
I thought about it, but I didn't know any billionaires. So.
Right. None that would lend you a yacht to test it out.
But I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but then I totally got hooked. So then I'm like, oh, I got to watch every episode. Even though I've already answered my question 100 years ago, I'm still clicking videos and oh, this is fascinating.
Yeah, well, I have found when I do my own research, if I learn a lot about it, then when I just write it into my story, it comes more naturally than if you're sitting there looking up each particular thing.
Yes.
It comes too close to almost copying what you've just learned. So I think you're doing
true.
it the way I think is the smoothest way to do it. Not that I'm an expert on it, but do you know what I'm saying? Because then it just becomes your knowledge that you're sharing when you're doing it. So it's not even really research anymore. So you keep watching those as much as you want. How many books do you do a year?
Now it's like Lori Foster says I can.
She told me to.
I tried this year. I'm looking at doing 8 books.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of writing.
It's a lot,
especially when you're doing all the other work with it.
Yeah, you can tell my husband that.
Does he not understand how hard
sometimes
you
he's like, why aren't you writing? And I'm like, this is part of being an author. There's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. It's not just writing the book, but I do.
We'll make him talk to my husband, because my husband understands if I'm answering reader emails or if I'm posting on Facebook, he knows that's part of it.
Yeah.
So, because it is.
Yeah,
These days, the social media aspect is almost as important as writing the really good book.
As long as you keep it in balance.
Mm-hmm. You do. You have to. And anybody that's successful apparently does, and you're successful. So,
I'm trying.
We've got it under there right now. So did you already tell me the inspiration for these books? Was it the yacht stuff, or have you got another inspiration?
Mostly my love for scuba diving is the inspiration
right.
for the books. So my husband and I travel a lot around the world. We love to go places. And so we thought we should probably capitalize on that because we see so many beautiful places around the world.
You can write that off for your research.
Well, that
there
too,
you go. Yeah. Not that the IRS heard us say that. Yeah, cut that part out. Yeah.
But it's legitimate. When I go places, I document everything. I take pictures. I even put up blogs on my webpage that says hey, in this scene, this is where they were. Here's the restaurant that it correlates to.
Because you do need that. Again, that's absorbing the information before you write it.
Yeah, and for us, we scuba dive a lot. So these books, Dive Masters, the whole premise, they're going around on their scuba diving, their yacht, and they're taking people on the vacation of a lifetime. They're inviting them for free, deserving people who've done something. They're kind of trying to pay it back.
So it's not just people hiring them; they're doing it as a service, a goodwill.
Yep,
service.
they're doing it for free. So they invite people onto their boat, and then there's bad guys, and they have scuba diving adventures, and
when they're scuba diving, is there any of that any sharks, jaws showing up? No,
there hasn't been yet, but we still have 2 books to go. So
the minute you mention water, that's what comes into my head. Jaws is going to be there.
Oh, no, I'm not really afraid of sharks. I've seen other animals underwater, and actually the one animal that scared me a little bit was dolphins, because they're so fast and they're so smart that I just realized
look a little like a shark. They do.
They do a little bit.
They always tell that the dolphins were saving them. I would have already had a heart attack thinking it was a shark.
No, they're just so fast and smart, and they're a predator. And when you're in the water, at least me, I'm floundering around and I hardly move at all, and they're just zipping around, and you realize
they have teeth? I don't know.
Yeah, they have teeth.
Oh my
God.
They
sure do.
So I could be scared of those right there with the sharks. So is that the scariest thing you've seen when scuba diving?
Oh, no. So this last time I was scuba diving in Bonaire, which is the setting of my book Going Down, the first in the Dive Master series. Yeah. And I was swimming along, and my husband has this little bell on his BC, which is keeps your buoyancy. And he starts ringing the bell furiously. And I'm looking around what are you looking for? And I was looking for something kind of small, and I turned back around, and there was a 7-foot moray eel right in front of me, coming right at me.
Oh my goodness.
And talk about teeth, big, scary teeth. And I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of froze.
Try not to look like food.
Yeah. So I froze, and it literally swam right beneath me, 6 inches beneath me. I have GoPro video of it on my website, so people can check it out. But no, I
want to go check it out. I'll probably have a heart attack. Now, see, for me now, and if that bell went ding, I'd be having a heart attack. Just something killer.
Usually he's pointing out something nice, like a turtle or like...
But in a frantic, bell-ringing way? I mean, I don't know.
It was a little over the top. I'm like, what's your problem? And then I was
was trying to tell you. You're looking
attention.
like food. Yeah. That would be so scary. So have you ever written that particular thing into one of the books? Because that needs to go in the book,
It'll go in a book. It hasn't gone in yet, but it will. I'm more focused on like a lot of the behavior that I've seen from dive masters. They like to entertain ladies on vacation, apparently.
Well, sure.
So,
I mean, that's what you write, right?
We hear some crazy stories, especially once people hear you're a writer. I'm sure you experience this too. They want to tell you everything that they think is book-worthy.
Everybody is sure they have something that needs to go in a book,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So, I've heard a lot of stories from dive masters around the world, and there are this culture of guys who, work in a place for 6 months, and they get paid essentially room and board, a little bit of stipend, and then, they save up until they can get a plane ticket somewhere else and try another part of the world.
That's their life. That's what they do.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it would be. It would be pretty neat unless you've got roots somewhere, but otherwise, that's a neat idea.
Yeah.
So how many books will be in the series?
They're just going to do 3. They're coming out one a month this summer. The first one's out. The second one is coming out next weekish, maybe. And then a month from now.
And then you got time to put that shark or moray eel or something horrifyingly scary in there.
Yeah, I'm really not that afraid. I'm afraid before I go in the water. I always, because you got all your gear on, you can hardly move.
Yeah.
As soon as my face hits the water, I forget that I'm afraid of stuff.
See, I'm afraid of everything in the water. We go to our lake house and we're floating in it, and it's lake.
Well,
there's no moray eels or sharks, and we're in a lake like there's no crocodiles or anything. And I'm floating in an inner tube, and my grandson's next to me, and we see this thing coming at us. And he's like, "Mama, what is it?" And I said, "It's just a turtle. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And all of a sudden it went under. I'm like, now we got to get out because now we don't know where the turtle went. So we're both paddling furiously. And it was just a little turtle.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where he was.
I think a lake is scarier though because you can't see.
Right.
The visibility isn't good. In the ocean, you can see forever.
But there's sharks in the ocean.
That's true.
Scary stuff. So tell us the name of the blog where they can find this. The video
it's on my website. It's JayneRylon.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and it's right there on the top. But I'm not really too afraid because I know I can swim faster than my husband. So
okay,
I'm all right.
That's all you got to do is swim faster than him.
Yeah.
And his bell will be ringing furiously. Don't look back. Just keep going.
I'm just gonna go.
All right, Jayne. Thank you so much. This was loads of fun. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.